Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another live stream Tuesday. I hope you guys have had a fantastic weekend and a bit of a slower start to the live stream tonight, going through a bit of Paris Nord, and that was my song, by the way, called Paris Nord, which you can get at wingsofpegasus.com if you want to, .com/music. So thank you guys over on Patreon for requesting that one. There were a few requests for that, as well as the cover video for tonight, which you'll be able to see in the live chat room. Currently being voted for, it looks like Hotel California is in the lead by quite a bit with 68% of the votes. So make sure that you vote for the cover that you want to hear. The other option is More Than Words, I do believe, tonight. So let me get you guys up on screen and we'll see who's in the live chat room tonight. And we have Lynn in there, and Jennifer, and Daniel, and Neil, and Billy, and Beverly, Shawnee, Key, Marge, Patrick, Brian, and Steve, and Lauren, and Carl. Hello guys, thank you for joining me tonight. And Matrix X is in there as well, one of my favourite movies or movie franchises if you just include all of the Matrix movies. But yes, I'm a big fan of the Matrix. Sometimes I do have my Matrix t-shirt on if you've seen that movie, and you can just see the Matrix on my shirt, quite literally, the green letters, symbols, and all that kind of cool stuff. But anyway, into tonight's live stream, we are going to be doing more of the same that we usually do. We're going to be having a pick roulette later on, but let's start the campaign to try and get a pick roulette next week already, and we do that by having a look at the live likes to see where we're at. We are at 101. Let me just centralize that a little bit more. So thank you for hitting that thumbs up. If you can leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, it would be massively appreciated. It helps the channel to get out there, also for these live streams to get out there, but the analysis videos, just everything. Hopefully it's all working correctly. I can see on my screen that there is a little bit of yellow warning action going on, but it seems like the speed should be okay for my upload speed. Sometimes it has to adjust it and do lots of fancy stuff, but I think we're pretty much okay. I'm sure that I will notice from the comments whether we have frozen or we get that wheel of death that then happens and it loads for ages, but we seem to be okay at the moment. Let me get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this all possible in the first place, and their names go across the bottom of the screen during all of the live streams. By the way, we live stream on a Tuesday night and a Saturday night, same time, both of those nights, which is the same time as tonight, and that is 12 midnight Greenwich Mean Time, so that's 12 AM. And you can type your time zone into Google if you want to find out what the time is in London at any point, because that's the time that I am on here. So let's have a look at our goals to see what we're aiming for tonight. 270 is what we're looking for in order to have the pick roulette next week. So keep on hitting those thumbs up. It means we're looking for an early maths test here. It's going to be 159 or 160. That just made it a little bit easier. Going over to 110. I do believe that was correct with my maths there. Hopefully it was. So that was 160 that we're looking for. Is it now? No, now it's 159. Anyway, thank you for hitting that thumbs up, and I do like to try and, well, I'm not sure whether I like it that much, but I do try to test my maths because this is the only time really that I'm ever trying to work with numbers and figure things out, so it's pretty good for my mental age and trying to make my brain a little bit better at calculating things, which is important generally in life, I think, to keep your brain on edge, or at least keep it as fit as possible. So yeah, it's a good little maths test for me doing these likes and subtracting whatever the number is from 270 to then find whatever that number is. But I think 155 is what we're looking for at the moment because we've had 115 so far, so thank you guys for that. Right, I know that there have been a few donations in the PayPal window. Thank you guys for those. Let me get those tabs up on screen, or that tab up on screen, so that you can see the percentage that YouTube take, which is 35 to 45%, and then PayPal take 3 to 5%. So just to have that on screen, so you guys have a lay of the land as to where the donations go, where the percentages go before they get to me. But thank you, everyone. We'll start with the PayPal donations because we had one that came in from Sue, and I do believe that this came in before the live stream. In fact, it was about 8:30 today, earlier today. So thank you for this, Sue. And it was a donation of £20, so thank you for that. The message is, can't attend the live stream tonight. I spiked the likes and will catch up on the catch-up crew with some rock horns. So thank you for that, Sue, for donating, even though you're not going to be here tonight live. But hello, Sue, to you if you're watching this in the future on catch-up. And hello to everybody that might be watching it on catch-up as well. You can still hit the thumbs up. The only thing is that if you're watching this in the future, your comment won't show up in the live chat room because this is all the live stuff going on now at 10 past midnight here in the UK. So thank you, Sue, for that. And I'm just going to scroll up because Steve has donated £5 as well. Thank you for that, Steve. And the message is, do you have any great broken string or equipment failed stories? What is your trick to fill the time while fixing it? So thank you for that, Steve. And I don't have any great broken string stories because I think I've mentioned on the live streams before, whenever there's a live show the day before, I always change my strings in order to counteract the possibility of breaking a string in the first place. So I've, fingers crossed, never broken a string so far. It would have to be a fault with the string or the guitar in order for it to break, and not just because the strings should have been changed. And this is something that I do say quite regularly, that if you've broken a string live, then you probably haven't changed your strings the day before. I think a lot of people do play live gigs and leave the same strings on all the time, whereas even when I was gigging regularly, I would always change the strings, even if I had to change the strings and only do one show with them. If there were maybe a couple of shows back to back, literally days after each other when I was on tour, then yeah, I would keep the same strings there, because I thought that if we're just playing for half an hour, 45 minutes, which is a general original set here in the UK, it means that I'm only going to be playing those strings for about an hour and a half, and then I'll change them for the third gig. So I would say that if people are breaking strings live, then they should have changed them before the gig to make sure they don't break a string live. So that's just my own kind of approach to playing, and I never wanted to be in the position to have to fill time, especially if you've only got a half an hour or 45 minute set. Every one of those minutes is very precious, as I pointed out on my recent analysis of Queen. Imagine, I don't know for a fact, but because of the kind of guy that Brian May is, I guarantee you that he changes his strings before every gig. Imagine Brian May breaking a string during Live Aid and then having to wait for him to change the string for maybe 3 minutes, 5 minutes. It means that their perfect 20-minute set that they executed that evening would have been ruined. And that's very much my approach, is that every minute is very precious. So you want to make sure that when you're playing live, that you've changed your strings and you have a new set on so that they don't break. But anyway, thank you for that, Steve. In terms of equipment fails, I haven't had that either, fortunately, but I think there is a lot that you can do as a musician, just setting up, making sure that one thing that I did, for example, is I would time myself how long it would take me to set everything up, and I'd go through it stage by stage, piece of equipment by piece of equipment, to make sure that everything I had in my bag was even organized. So I had a sports bag that had, in the main section, I'd have my leads on the bottom of the bag, I'd have my pedal on the top of the bag, I'd then have the wireless system for my guitar in the left hand pocket. the wireless system for my microphone in the right hand pocket, so I had the separate wireless systems in left and right, so I could start setting things up. And as soon as I'd done my amp and I had all the leads for my amp in terms of the jacks in order to link the head to the cabinet, I had it all stored in the head of the amp. So it meant that everything I needed for my amp was in the amp head, so that was all organized. Everything that I needed for my mic and my wireless setup was in a particular pocket. In another pocket, I had my guitar wireless system, and then in the main pocket, I had my pedals and the leads underneath that, and the power for the pedals as well. So anyway, it meant that I could set up a gig going through the same process each time, going through pocket by pocket, and I would do it in order so that I knew when everything was set up, it was neat on stage. And I would also time myself to see how quickly I could set up my gear, because this is another thing that when you play gigs with maybe 3 or 4 other bands on the same night, you don't have a lot of time to set up if you haven't got the luxury of having a sound check and being able to keep all of your equipment on stage. So this is the thing, that there is a very quick turnaround, sometimes only about 10 minutes, and 10 minutes is not a very long time. If you're not organized with all of your equipment, then 10 minutes would be a nightmare for some people. And this is sometimes the case, that events just ran on so much longer than they should have done. So you say, right, our set time tonight is at 9:30, and everyone comes along to see you at 9:30. But because people are taking ages to set up their gear and they aren't organized, they might take 20 minutes, half an hour just to set up their pedals and plug everything in. So then you start going on a lot later and everyone's having to wait around. So this is another thing, that just being really prepared is so much better for everybody, but also I think it just decreases stress on the night. If you know the time it takes you to set up your gear, how quickly you can do it as a band, it means that you know that you can get it all done in that 10-minute spot, and you can get all of your wireless in-ears set up, everything's fine. You know that your guitar's fine, it's not going to have a broken string on it at any point. So yeah, I'd just say keep really organized. And I would suggest, even though some people think that it's weird, going through almost like a pit crew at an F1 race, or one of those NASCAR races. I think they have pit crews there as well, maybe where they change tyres and do all that kind of stuff. They are so well rehearsed at going through that cycle. I have that same approach with setting up your gear for playing live. Just get used to going through that cycle and just try and shave as much time off the setup time as possible. And then it will just really help. Not only, I mean, the venue will like you as well because you're so organized, but it'll just de-stress things on the night for yourself, setting things up. But anyway, thank you for that, Steve, and for that donation as well, and the question. So no epic failed stories really, but I think those only come about maybe through just really unlucky things that happen on the night, stuff that's out of your hands. And there have been things that have happened that have been out of my hands, and you guys have seen that on the real life stories, where it's nothing really to do with my equipment, but more just the venue not being organized and not even having a PA system, for example, thinking that they're going to be able to house a live band and put on a live gig and have a live music night without a PA. So they haven't really planned that you're going to need to hear what this vocalist is singing into the air rather than just being able to hear it over the top of the band. You won't be able to hear him. You need a microphone, and that's got to be attached to a PA. So yeah, all that kind of stuff. But you guys know this well from my real life stories. These crazy stories, that have happened, and a lot of people can, I think, relate to them if you are a musician yourself and you've been in a band for any length of time and been playing live. But anyway, thank you so much for that, Steve. And I know that there have been donations in the super chat window as well, so thank you guys for those. I just have a quick look at one of those. I think I'm going to have to reorganize the super chat window a little bit better so that I can read them out, because maybe my screen's a little bit minimized here at the moment. But I'm going to go through one that hasn't got as much typing on it, because I can read that from Ginny, who has donated $7. So thank you for that, Ginny. And the message is, hi Phil, for Francis, who is still in hospital, if you could do a Creedence Clearwater Revival song, what would it be? Take care. Good question. I don't know, probably it's in terms of my range and where my voice sits. I mean, I'd love to do Fortunate Son. That's just an absolute classic. So I would probably give that a go. I'd have to maybe look at the key. I know that it's kind of up there in the male tenor range, but it is something that before, when I've done covers, I've just kind of tried my best to sing the melody and the vocal as close as I can get it to the original. So that's probably what I'd go for. I mean, it's kind of the first one that just pops into your head because it's just such a classic. I'm trying to think of the analysis video that I did, because I think it was quite a while ago. It might have been Fortunate Son, I'm not sure. But, I know what it was. I'm thinking of when I used to do the riff of the week. One of those was Fortunate Son, and I did that. I used to do those every Sunday. We're talking about years ago now, when I think I had 1,500 subscribers. So I used to do a new riff every Sunday that people had to guess what it was, and I did 100 of those in all. And then things started to take off on YouTube, so then I didn't have time to do any more of those. But yeah, so that one of those was Fortunate Son. So everyone, obviously, as soon as you start playing that, it's instantly recognizable. But yeah, that is one that I would maybe attempt in the future if I do have to, or I do have the possibility to free up some time, and I do have the time to do that, to get an extra cover done. But thank you so much for these donations, and as you can see on screen, we've got £19.49 worth of donations. So thank you guys for that. And I'm going to move it because it's shifted away from the likes. So yeah, it's probably better for us to see the likes so that we know what we're getting in terms of the target 270, and what we're getting with that likeometer is 150. Perfect timing. So thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up and for these super chat donations. Like I said, what I'm going to have to do is just reorganize that window, but I will get through all of these super chat donations before the end of the live stream, because that is something that I make sure that I do every time on these live streams that happen on a Tuesday and a Saturday. If this is your first ever experience of the live streams on the channel, just say hello, introduce yourself to the live chat room. That's how everybody started out. Huge shout out to the moderators in the house tonight, who will be in there. You'll see their names go through the live chat room with a wrench next to their names, and I think their names are still in blue, even on the white background. I know that we've had the black background previously, but I think that it's going to be the same in the live chat room. So we'll look out for them. We'll have to wait for one of the moderators to put a comment in there so that we can see the name go through, but you will notice it when you see it. So a huge thank you to you guys. I think everybody knows who the moderators are now. We'll have Neil in there, and also Carla. And by the way, if you want to get your hands on the Wings of Pegasus t-shirt that Carla makes with the bleached logo, then you can email Carla at many moons ago in 1965 at yahoo.com. I think that's it. Fingers crossed. It was in the last live stream. I did pin it to the top of the comments section and the live chat room, so you guys will be able to refer back to that. And maybe Carla can do a little message so you can see what the moderators' names look like. You can see Neil. There we go. It is in blue. It is still in blue going through. So thank you for that, Neil and Carla and Laurie as well, for doing such a great job with the moderation and keeping that live chat room such a great place to be, and keeping the community feel. I think maybe in the last live stream it might have had a troll or two in there, so thank you guys for just controlling all of that. I know there are some people who have a little bit too much time on their hands to watch live streams that they just want to troll in, and you know, if that's what they want to do with their time, then that's absolutely fine. I guess it still counts as interaction and more people watching the live stream, so it probably makes the stream more successful where people are trying to get involved in order to troll the live stream. They don't realize that they're actually helping the channel to then get promoted to more people because they're interacting with the video, and YouTube always sees that as a positive. So yeah, this is probably the plus side of having trolls on the live streams, but obviously it's a bit of a negative side because it means that the moderators really have to work hard. So thank you, moderators, so much for all of the work that you do on these live streams. So I think what we might do is have a look at the cover video early on. I know that last time when we had a look at the cover video, it was about 1:45 and it didn't leave us much opportunity. We then had to rush through the pick roulette and that kind of thing. And I know that over on Patreon tonight, there obviously was the requests for cover, and also to have a look at, I think it was Deborah who requested to have a look at an Under the Spotlight episode, or at least an Under the Spotlight solo. And I think it was Buck Dharma that was requested. So I did, just before going live, upload Buck's solo that he did for us on the channel into the software. So I'm hoping that we might have a little bit of time to look at that. And I'm sure that if I get the cover video organized very early on, then we will have an opportunity to look at Buck's solo later on as well. And also just have a recap maybe of the most recent analysis videos. One of those was the Queen analysis video, and that was of the whole Live Aid set. And that's why I referred to that earlier in terms of them having that perfect 20-minute set. Another thing to look out for that I didn't mention in that video was that at the front of the stage, if you look at the angle behind Freddie, the instant that they finish, you can see a light. And everybody look out for this on the Queen Live Aid set. There's a light at the front of the stage that is yellow, which means that their time is still fine. And as soon as that light goes red, it means that they have gone over, or at least that is the end of their set time. And just watch for that light at the end of the set, because as soon as they finish, that light comes on, the red light, in terms of saying your time is up. So it's a great visual indication of exactly what I'm saying at the end of the analysis video, just that they perfectly mapped out 20 minutes of the set. So Roger Taylor's timing was spot on, everything that I said in that video. If you want that visual representation of when they had to stop, it is at the front of the stage where we have the shot from behind Freddie looking out to the crowd right at the end. So look out for that. But anyway, yeah, you can have a look at that if you want to check it out. Like I said, I go through the whole set, so make sure you check that video out. It is obviously a bit longer. It's quite a lot longer than a standard analysis video, but it was one of those that was requested about 3 years ago for me to have a look at the whole thing and just break down exactly what was going on. I think it comes in at over 50 minutes, so it might be one of those videos that you either need to set a bit of time aside in your schedule, or maybe just watch 10 or 15 minutes at a time and then resume it later on. But thank you everyone for watching that one, because it has had quite a few views, and that is much appreciated, for all the comments as well. Oh, and in the comment section, by the way, if I had £1 for every comment that is referring to Ringo in the Beatles analysis that I did, because that was the previous analysis video, and I think that was 2 nights before. So it means that, yeah, a lot of views for the Queen analysis video, but the Beatles analysis video that I did, if I had £1 for everybody that commented about Ringo not being behind the drum kit, then I'd probably have quite a lot of pounds. I don't know how many pounds, but certainly a lot of pounds, maybe £100. But anyway, the reason that Ringo wasn't behind the kit, that wasn't their kit, that was the support band's kit, and the actual kit that Ringo was playing was on a drum riser, and is about 4 feet. It was quite high up, which meant that the angle, that just on that one song, it didn't cover Ringo. But if you click on the link in the description, in my analysis video, you'll be able to watch the whole set, and you'll be able to see that Ringo is definitely there. It's just the fact that he was just at a different angle to the camera who was filming John, and I mean John is filmed quite close up. You've also got Paul and George who are filmed quite close up as well. But yeah, I assure you that Ringo was there, and somebody commented saying, oh, this is the gig where Ringo couldn't play because he was ill, but Ringo was ill before that, but this was just after he had recovered and he went out to Australia. That's where the gig was, and played with them. So yeah, that just to mention that, I just remembered it when I was talking about the previous analysis videos and Queen. Then I remembered about all the comments about Ringo with the Beatles analysis. So yes, he definitely was there. Click on the link in the description of that analysis video to see him behind the drum kit on the drum riser. Anyway, let's get into tonight's cover, and thank you guys for voting. Let's have a look at what it's going to be. We are at 64% in the vote, so I'm going to end the poll. It looks like we're going to be taking a look at Hotel California tonight. Make sure that's right. It is. I've now ended the poll, so we'll wait for the official numbers, but I think it definitely was Hotel California that won. And yes, it was. So it was 63 to 36, or yeah, technically 37. But anyway, thank you guys for voting on tonight's cover video. It was 150 votes that we had, so thank you guys for that. What I'm going to do is we'll get into this cover video, then we'll have a little bit of time just addressing the donations that have come in. So thank you guys for those in the super chat window, but also on PayPal. So I'll jump into those after this cover video, and then we will keep ourselves organised. I'll keep myself organised in order to have the pick roulette, and then just try to work through, also get through Buck Dharma's solo as well a little bit later on. But anyway, thank you guys for voting for this. This is my version of Hotel California, which has been recently allowed on YouTube by Don Henley and his team of people. So that's definitely a positive, because we can now listen to it, and I don't just have this hidden in my vault. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys after. Rock!
On the dark desert highway, the cool wind in my hair, warm smell of colitas rising up through the air. Overhead in the distance, I saw a shimmering light. My head grew heavy and my sight grew dim. I had to stop for the night. Then she stood in the doorway. I heard the mission bell. And I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven or this could be hell. Then she lit up a candle and showed me the way. There were voices down the corridor. I thought I heard them say, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a long us here of our own device. And in the master's chambers, they gathered for the feast. They stab me with their stealing knives, but they just can't kill the beast. Last thing I remember, I was running for the door. I had to find the passage back to the place I was before. Relax, said the night man, we're programmed to receive. You can check out anytime you like, but you may never leave.
And there we have it. That was my version of Hotel California. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And like I said, only recently allowed on YouTube in the last few months. And I did that a very long time ago. Interestingly, there was a question from Matrix. I mentioned the username earlier on, saying why don't I use band members in order to do the covers and then do a video with them. And the simple answer for that is that when you've got a band, you have to organise everybody independently and then together to all be at the same point or in the same place at the same point. Or if you're recording individually, you need to get them inside the studio in order to record their part, to film them. And when we were out gigging, and even when we then decided that it was decided we couldn't afford to keep on gigging. So the bassist and the drummer who lived in London, I've explained all this before, but because it's pay to play here in the UK, they couldn't continue to play anymore because we were having to pay for every gig that we were doing, and we couldn't afford to keep going with the petrol and everything. So anyway, it was just me in the end with my songs. I decided to take it all online because playing live was too expensive, and just there weren't any venues really for original music, and it was always pay to play. So I never got paid for any original gigs that I played throughout my whole live career from when I started up until when I ran out of money. So it was inevitable really that I was going to run out of money with everybody else. So I went online, but when we had a band, we would do one video maybe every 6 months. That's how long it took to organise everybody in order to come in and record a part. So say, for example, I said, right, this month, wishful thinking, this month we're going to do a cover video, or we're just going to record one of our songs and release it on YouTube. And I'd say, right, guys, so we'll do it this weekend. Obviously, somebody would say, can't do this weekend, I'm working, but I can do next weekend. Another guy would say, oh, I can't do next weekend, but I might be able to do on Wednesday. So you think, okay, right, so you can come in on Wednesday, the drummer's coming in next weekend, the bassist will say, oh, well, I can't come in for the next 2 weeks because I'm working. So anyway, that month is now gone because you can't get everybody in the studio. Long story short, doing things myself, it means that if I want to do a video today, now, if I want to live stream now with all of you, I can do it, and I don't have to wait for somebody else to be here to organise and to say, oh, yeah, are you going to be live streaming on Tuesday, or are we live streaming on a Tuesday? I can't do it this Tuesday, and I can't do next Tuesday, but I can do it in 3 weeks. So the next live stream we'll have is in 3 weeks' time. And that's not the way that I roll, as you guys probably know with my channel. I'm very strict with my video uploads. If you've been here a long time, you would have known, and you will know, that I did a new video every night for over 2.5 years. I didn't miss a night, and I haven't missed a live stream in I don't know how long, maybe 3 years, maybe longer than that. All of you guys have been joining me on a Tuesday and a Saturday. So doing things myself, because I can just play the instruments and I can do it all myself, and I sing and I can harmonize with myself, it just made a lot more sense, and it was a lot less stressful for me to be able to do stuff when I wanted to do it, because I don't sit well with just not doing anything and having an idea to do something and then being told, oh yeah, well, we'll do it next week, or we'll do it in 2 weeks. Like, imagine, maybe people don't have the same feeling that I do, but when I want to do something, I want to do it. I don't want to say, oh, what, right, we've got a great idea and I'm really excited about doing this particular idea, but wait 2 or 3 weeks and then maybe we can do it then. And even then, in 3 weeks, we might have a problem with somebody being ill, or for example, not having money for petrol, so not being able to travel. So then we have to wait till they've done their shift at work in order to have the petrol to travel, and then we can do it in 4 weeks or 5 weeks. So for me, just sitting around waiting to do something was not good for my mental health. So it's a lot better for me to just do everything at my own pace. And I think actually that's why things probably have taken off for me on YouTube, is that I can create and do things at my own speed. So it's better for me in a mental space. It means I'm a lot more relaxed, I'm not as frustrated, but also I can get everything out there as consistently and as quickly as I want to. Like, for example, the Under the Spotlight videos, I do that every Sunday of every month, and that takes me probably, I don't know, anywhere in the ballpark of 18 hours per video, but I do that over the course of a Saturday and a Sunday. And trying to, if I, for example, had somebody else that I did that with, it meant that they would need to sacrifice. For me, it's not really a sacrifice, but a lot of people see it as a sacrifice to do something that I think, if you want to do it, just do it. You don't have to think, oh, I'm going to have to sacrifice this. If you want to do something, then it's not really a sacrifice, because that is what you want to be doing anyway. I think that, yeah, anyway, not getting into that, not getting into band conversations about, yeah, having to give up things for other things. But anyway, it meant that they would have to give up 18 hours of their weekend in order to do what I wanted to do and an idea that I had for a series that I wanted to do on the YouTube channel. So I think a lot of people, understandably, might think, oh, well, for me, I have got other interests and they might have a girlfriend and they might see their girlfriend on the weekend, and that is obviously their choice to do that. But for me, my choice is to not see a girlfriend at the weekend. It's to spend 18 hours doing the video that I want to do, because I want to get people's playing out there, and it's great to break down these players' techniques, such as Buck Dharma. I mean, I see it as a massive privilege to have, first of all, a friend who is Buck Dharma from Blue Oyster Cult, to even be able to chat to him and to be able to hook up with him when he's in the UK, and for him to even play something for my channel, a totally bespoke solo that has never been aired on any other channel, because it's my backing track that he's playing over the top of. So I just feel privileged to be in that position, and I think, why would you not give just a few hours at the weekend in order to get that out there on your channel, because it's something that's so different and unique, and it's a privilege to be able to break down a guy like Buck's playing at such close quarters, knowing that he's just played this for us on the channel. So yeah, it is, I think, a fantastic opportunity, and is something that I am passionate about doing. That's why I put in the time that I do, because I want to do it, and I think other people don't want to do it as much as I want to do it, and that's understandable. Everyone's got their interests, but I also think that a lot of people who say, oh, I'd do anything to be famous or to be successful or to do music full time, what they're talking about is I would do anything that didn't last very long. Because if you say to somebody, okay, if you want to be successful, if you want to be a full-time musician, all you've got to do is find probably 4 to 6 hours a day outside of your job to spend on trying to get somewhere in your music career. And you have to keep on doing that. There's no real time limit to that. I started playing music and having my first band when I was 19 years of age, and then things started to take off for me probably 3 or 4 years ago, and that would have meant that I was 34, 35. So it means that I had a good 16 years of working at it outside of my job in order to try and be successful with it. So you've got to have that mindset of just keeping at it, just working away, and eventually I believe that you will get a break. I think a lot of people do become successful a lot earlier than it took me to do it. It just took me a very long time to get there, but you will get there in the end. So people that say, oh, I'll do anything to be a full-time musician, would they give 4 to 6 hours a day outside of their job hours? They probably wouldn't. And that's the thing. They say, oh no, I mean, I'll jump into that water from this diving board, which is 10 meters high. I'll do that to be a full-time musician. It's not that easy. You don't just get to do one thing and then you're a full-time musician. So yeah, you've got to be ready to put in the work. And certainly it's something that I have said recently on the Wings of Pegasus supporters page on Facebook. There's a post where I explain about everything that I'm doing at the moment, and that I do really see it as a privilege to even have the opportunity to put in these hours of work, because a lot of people do other jobs which are a lot more difficult, and that's what I would definitely class as work. I've got a passion for doing this, and that's why I keep on doing it. If I didn't have a passion for doing analysis videos, music, covers, my own album, I wouldn't have got that far. I wouldn't have recorded an album. I wouldn't have got as far as having my own website or the channel here, and I definitely wouldn't have done over 250 videos in a row, over 250, it's more than that, over 2.5 years. So that is much more than 250 videos. So 2.5 years, which is beyond my maths at the moment, but that's 730, so it's at least 730 videos consecutively. I wouldn't have done that if I didn't have a passion for it, because I don't think anybody could keep their sanity doing that if they didn't like doing it in the first place. So anyway, yes, that is a very long answer to that question, but thank you for the question in the first place, Matrix. I just saw that going through, and that's why I do it myself, because other people don't want to do it as much as I want to do it, and I find it frustrating not being able to do something literally this second when I want to do it, and I'm not going to get in my own way. So that's why I do it. But anyway, thank you for that message. I just picked that out in the live chat room. But also thank you guys for the super chat donations. I have made it a little bit smaller so I can read it. And it looks like I'm going to have to scroll up to see it if I can. Oh, here we go. Right, the middle mouse button works. The middle mouse button works. Okay, so my brain is changing the order of letters again. But thank you for that donation, Ginny, who mentioned Francis in hospital. Francis, get well soon. That is something that I think was mentioned last time from Ginny as well. And I'm sure that everybody in that live chat room wishes Francis well as well. So get well soon, Francis. Patrick has donated $5. Thank you for this, Patrick. The message is, hola Phil, hope you are well. Have you ever wondered what it might have been like to play alongside Neil Diamond, Gordon Lightfoot, or Jim Croce? So thank you for that, Patrick. And I think I don't really wonder too much about playing behind famous artists, but it just would be great to play behind such great singers, songwriters, just great talent. I think generally when you're looking at really talented singers, songwriters, and just artists in general, they have a top band behind them, and it would be great just to have the opportunity to be part of that band. So I haven't really wondered about Neil, Gordon, or Jim specifically, but it certainly is something that I would think would be great to play in a top band backing one of those guys. Generally when you're playing with top players, it's just great fun because everyone's on the same page and everyone's in the groove, and it's just almost like a second nature for the band to just mold into one sound. So yeah, it would, well, like I said, haven't really thought about it, but it would be fantastic. Anyway, thank you for that, Patrick. And Ginny's donated $5 again. Thank you for that, Ginny. And the message is, Phil, have you ever gigged in the rain? If so, is it safe, or can you get zapped by makes or guitar outlets? Thanks. So thank you for that, Ginny. And generally, I mean, I've played outside at festivals, but they've been in the summer, so I've been very lucky with the weather, but maybe unlucky in terms of when I've played outside, it has been really hot, which is rare for the UK, but it's been kind of mid-30s. So whenever there's, like at the Maidenhead Festival, where I have got a few pictures from, and some of the live videos that I play, or at least images from the live videos that I play on the live stream, were from Maidenhead Festival. And that is where my hair is huge because it was so hot. And that was in the mid-30s. I also played another festival. I can't remember where this is, or where it was. It was maybe down south, or I can't even remember. I know that it's a really long drive to get there, but it was a really hot day there as well. Again, I think mid-30s, so super hot weather. Another outdoor gig that I did was actually cold. So this was it wasn't raining, but it was cold. It was at the end of the year, probably around November, December time. But again, there was no water there, no rain, so it was fine. So I think generally, if you're playing in the rain, nowadays there are going to be festivals that are built for the rain. So it means that the stage is covered. They have an overhang, which means that all of the equipment is going to be safe. It's not going to get very wet. And I mean, nowadays with safety, it's something that I don't think you're going to be at risk if you're playing at a festival setup that is professionally run. Obviously, if you're trying to set up a festival yourself and you don't really know what you're doing, then there's going to be a danger. If it does rain, that things could get dangerous with, plug sockets and maybe having an extension cable that's running from the mains and not having it fully covered. And I mean, having your guitar out in the rain as well, if it is getting wet. This is something about that Prince performance that I analysed, Super Bowl, I do believe, where it was really raining. Again, that is borderline, because you can hear, and I do mention that in the analysis video, you can hear his wireless system just crackling and breaking it out ever so slightly. So it shows that there might have been a little bit of moisture getting into the connection, which is always a bad thing. And when you start talking about water getting inside connections, then there's a potential for being electrocuted. So you definitely don't want that to happen, considering as well that if you're playing the guitar, there might be an outside chance that those strings could get connected to that electricity if it's getting wet. So probably not a good idea. But fortunately, everything was fine with Prince. I think it's got to be very unlucky in order for that to happen. I know that when you're gigging and if you're sweating a lot as well, your guitar and your fretboard does get very wet because playing in plus 30 degree temperatures, degrees Celsius, means that you're going to be sweating and your guitar's going to get a little bit wet as well, just through the nature of playing in those kind of conditions. Another great thing to practice, if you can rehearse and sweat to make sure that you can play your guitar when your fretboard is wet, because that's a whole nother thing to get used to. All of these things that you don't really think about when you're sitting at home practicing in your room in a nice temperature. You don't think about, what if my fretboard was damp, had sweat over it because of playing live in hot conditions. And even in cold conditions, when you're playing underneath lighting, like I had this one gig where the ceiling wasn't very high. So it meant that the lighting for the gig was probably about 2 feet, maybe 3 feet from my head. So it's like having a lamp, like a heating lamp, pointed at your face the whole time. And even though it was relatively cool because it was a winter gig, everybody else out in the crowd was fine. They were nice and cool, but it was really hot underneath these lamps, because it wasn't just one. I say lamps, these were just lights, but they might have 3 or 4 on your section that are, you know, different colors, like blue, and they're changing colors. So yeah, that was, again, on stage is going to be a lot hotter than the crowd who are not underneath those lights. But anyway, another thing just to factor in, but let me move on, because let me just scroll down again. Thank you for these donations, and thank you for that, Ginny. Gary has donated $5, and there's the guy with the party blower thing celebrating, so thank you for that, Gary. Carl has donated $5. Thank you for that, Carl. And the message is the usual, which is the Cross the Pond Fund, and / we've got a huge music festival in Asbury Park in September. Wish they could have booked for it. Or wish they could had you booked for it. Apologies for my awful reading, but thank you for that, Carl. And I suppose this is the thing, that if you get booked for a festival, it's something that you do get paid for. So they would cover expenses and all that kind of stuff. It's when you're playing at gigs and festivals that, for example, on the unsigned stage is typically what we call it here in the UK, where they book you and you have to sell the tickets for it yourself. Again, that's pay to play. But if you're a booked act for the main festival, then you will get paid for that. So it means that all of your expenses will be covered, and that makes it a lot easier. If you're getting paid for playing at a festival, then you can do the festival. Like if there was a festival here in the UK, for example, and I was getting paid for it, then I would be able to do it, because it would cover all rehearsal costs, all transport, everything that we'd need in order to get there. So yeah, that would be great. The same theoretically for any other country. If they're going to cover the transport, obviously jumping on a plane is going to be a lot more expensive for a festival to book an act that needs to do that. But the big festivals do that, of course. They have bands from all over the world that are appearing. But maybe one day in the future, a little bit further down the line, we will see. But thank you for that, Carl. And Steve has donated $1.99. Thank you for that, Steve. And this is a red thumbs up, so thank you for that. And Francis has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that. The message is, has there ever been a time when you wouldn't do an analysis on a group? So thank you for that. And I think pretty much I've got through most of the requests. The only things that I don't do is if there's any video that has lots of swearing in it, just because I think that, well, I know that my channel is watched by all ages, and I know that my videos were being shown at a school local to me as part of their music lessons, which was cool. And it just so happened that one of my students that I taught said it wasn't his music class, but he said that he went past a class and he saw me, because he was having guitar lessons from me. He saw me on the screen at the front in their music class, which was another class that he wasn't in. So I think it was maybe a different year as well. So it meant that whatever that year was, whether it's year 8 or 9, they were watching my analysis videos as part of their music lessons, which I think was cool. And all more the reason to not have swearing in the videos. So yeah, if there's any band that do just swear all the time, then I tend not to go in that direction, because it would take me a long time to just bleep out everything they're saying or remove the swearing. And I just want basically my videos to be accessible for everybody, and I do approach them really from that educational point of view, that if people want to learn something about music and learn something about playing the guitar or singing or what these great bands are doing, then I want people to be able to watch the videos and for them not to have some kind of rating to them or have a warning to them beforehand as well. So yeah, that's the only reason, or that's the only thing that would stop me from doing a video. I've done lots of different genres, so it's not really a genre specific thing. And even if there is a genre that normally does have swearing in it, I'll try and find a performance that has minimal swearing in it, and then I'll just quickly mute out any offensive word to make sure that it's still accessible for everybody. But thank you for that, Francis, for the donation and the question. And I'm just going to jump into the PayPal donations window because I think we're up to date with the super chats. And Linda has donated £20.76. Thank you for that, Linda. And it is a straight up donation without a message, so thank you for that. Steve has donated £1 as well. Thank you for this, Steve. Again, the message is, whose lines do you like better on the song, Felder's or Joe's? I am a Joe fan, and I can't choose between the lines because I think they're just... I've mentioned about it being one of the best solos that there is. I think a lot of that is because of the difference in sound between the two lead guitarists and the way that their lines are ever so slightly different. And this is why it's enjoyable to play as well. And it's enjoyable to do covers when you're trying to do the same solos that those players did, because it's very difficult to play a solo exactly the same as the person that you're trying to copy. And I've said this before a million times, the hardest thing to do on the guitar is to sound like somebody else, because everybody can play their own solo. Everybody has their own techniques that they prefer and they lean towards. So, and every guitarist knows what they like to play in, the style that they like to play in. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's then, I think, a really difficult mission to then push the boat out and try and take on techniques that you don't personally like and try and get them to sound anything like the guitarists who have played them previously. But I'm just going to sit on the fence, and I'm not going to pick a favourite or say, well, the thing is, there is no better, so I'm not going to be able to say that one is better than the other. So in terms of favourite, I think they really do just complement each other as much as possible, and I think as much as they need to. That's the really important part, is that having two guitarists that complement each other rather than clash. And there are plenty of bands that I've played with, but gigged with, I should say, who have guitarists who clash because they're both trying to steal the limelight. Whereas it's great to have a solo section like that where they just both complement each other so well, and it's interesting the whole time. But anyway, thank you for that, Steve. I'm just going to sit on the fence with that. Thank you, Erica, as well, who has donated £25, a very kind donation. And I think it might be Erica's birthday, and I hope that this is Erica that was in the live chat room earlier. I'm sure I saw somebody say happy birthday, Erica, and it hasn't been in the super chat, so it might have been something I caught out of the corner of my eye. So this might be or might not be the Erica, but thank you for this £25 donation. And also, everybody say happy birthday in that live chat room to Erica, even if it's not Erica, but hopefully it is Erica who's donating here, a very kind £25. Thank you for that. And thank you for this message. Good luck to everyone on the pick roulette, and spike those likes! Exclamation mark. Let's get Phil to 200k with a smiley face. Well, we will see where we end up. We're at 180 plus thousand subscribers at the moment, so thank you for everybody getting us over the 180 benchmark. I think it might be 181, maybe closing in on 182, so we will see. I tend to always lose track of where we are with the subscribers because they do sometimes go up very quickly. So thank you everyone for subscribing and clicking that notification bell as well. And that is something that you can click on to get notified for all of the videos if you want to not miss a live stream or an analysis video or an under the spotlight video. But thank you for that, Erica. And It's 3 minutes past 1. Right, so I mentioned about Buck Dharma earlier and that Deborah requested this over on Patreon. So let's have a quick look at Buck Dharma playing just for us on the channel, which is just absolutely crazy to be able to say that. But we'll have a little listen to Buck's solo that he played for us for Under the Spotlight. And this should fill up the screen, hopefully. And I'll see you guys after this, where we'll then get into the pick roulette for tonight. So I'll see you guys after this rock. And there we have it. That was Buck Dharma playing for us on the channel over the top of my backing track that I sent to him for Under the Spotlight. So, just in case you haven't seen that before, that is an episode of Under the Spotlight that is on this channel where we jump into the techniques that Buck's using and the lines, all of the things that he's using to express himself through the guitar. That's really what Under the Spotlight is about, looking at somebody's playing, their technique, their choices that they make on the fretboard, but then, yeah, just also sitting back and enjoying it. And certainly, yeah, fantastic to have Buck on the channel doing that for us. And Buck's going to be in the UK and in London later on this year. And he's going to be playing, obviously, with Blue Oyster Cult, and they're supporting Deep Purple. So that's going to be an epic gig later on in the year. And fingers crossed that that is going to go ahead. And maybe I'll be able to organise something with Buck for that. But definitely would be great to catch up with him there while he's in London, because that'll be local to me. And I did manage to catch up with him the last time he was in London as well. So a huge thank you to Buck Dharma for recording that solo for us on Under the Spotlight. So I saw also that Carla said in that live chat room about if we hit 200,000 subscribers that I will be giving away a guitar, and that is true. We're going to have a guitar on the pick roulette wheel. So it means that if we hit our target for the pick roulette likes goal, if we ever hit 200,000, it means that every time we have a pick roulette, anyone on that wheel could win a guitar. So I think that'd be quite cool to have that on there. So that'll be happening at 200,000. I could see that somebody said for reals ? And yes, it is for reals. That will be happening if we get to that point. So anyway, I can just see Linda Z in the house there typing in capitals saying, "We need a pick roulette next Tuesday. Spike the likes if you haven't done so already." So thank you for that. And Carla's done a little bit of maths there for me. 30 likes to go, or to goal. So thank you for that. Keep on hitting that thumbs up if you guys get a chance, because, yeah, we are getting closer to 270. That's what we're aiming for, to have a pick roulette next week. Let's jump into the pick roulette for tonight, Tuesday night's pick roulette. I'm hoping that I have managed to cover everything in the super chat window. I think that is okay. And we're up to date on PayPal as well, I do believe. So, good. This is a good time. I was going to say great there, but it went into good. This is a good time to have a look at the pick roulette. And good luck, everybody. I hope that it is your lucky night tonight. And commiserations already to the person who I'm going to pick out to be my top tip, because it never works out. But I'll see you guys in a second. Rock! So here we have the pick roulette wheel, and just again, if you haven't seen one of these, you must have seen one of these by this time, but if you haven't, you can see the t-shirts that are on the wheel. If we land on one of those, you win one of Carla's much in demand bleached Wings of Pegasus t-shirt. So the bleached logo that is on there, it's obviously never gonna remove itself. It's part of the t-shirt, and I have been wearing those. Well, I've worn it I think on 2 live streams, but I'll have to look out for another one as well so I can model it for you guys. But in order to get your hands on one of those, you can either win a pick roulette, or you can order them separately by emailing Carla at many moons ago in 1965 at yahoo.com. I almost forgot, but I remembered it at the end. So it's also, I can see Carla going through saying it's autographed, so it's got some guy's signature scribbling on it, and that was me. Apologies. So it is also signed on the pick. So this is the thing, that you can win a signed pick. That is the standard win for the pick roulette. Obviously the clue's in the name for the pick roulette, but also the t-shirt roulette is a signed t-shirt, so it's got my signature on it. Anyway, just in case you guys wanted to know that, thank you for reminding me about that, Carla, or reminding me to include that bit of information. So we're going to jump into this. We're going to shuffle the names 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And, oh, look, we're a little bit t-shirt heavy in this section. So if we do land there, there's a chance there could be a t-shirt roulette tonight. Right, let me pick my top tip to lose. No, to win, let's be positive. We're going to go for... I can't make a decision. Okay, we're going to go a J Sometimes lyric. So, good luck to J Sometimes. I'm just going to call J Sometimes to keep it short, but let's give the wheel a spin and see who is going to win. So, J Sometimes is my tip for the top, and we'll see. Ooh, the good thing about having the t-shirts marked out with the hearts is you can see exactly where they are. So they've all bunched up, so there might be more chance of landing on one, or maybe not. It looks like it's slowing down in exactly the wrong place. But where is Sometimes? Oh, where is J Sometimes? Oh, no, a little bit too high up, so commiserations to J Sometimes a lyric. And is it going to be Paula? Is it going to get as far as Paula, or oh, it is Paula who has won tonight. So congratulations to you, commiserations to everybody else on the wheel, and if Paula can make herself be known in that live chat room, that would be great, because then obviously Carla can organise everything with you in order to get that pick sent over to you. Thank you guys for entering tonight's pick roulette. Again, if you want to have another pick roulette next week, make sure that you hit that thumbs up before the end of the live stream, which is, just having a look at the time, it's probably about 4 minutes away. We're already at, well, we've gone past 10 past 1 here in the morning, so we're going to be calling things to a close very soon. So we haven't got long to get what looks like 15 likes. So let me now get everything off the screen so that you guys can see everything that we need to in the live chat room. I think the live chat room is... I think, is Paula in there? Everyone's saying congratulations, Paula. So thank you everyone for saying congratulations, but commiserations to those of you who haven't won yet. We do have some people who have won twice, believe it or not, and a lot of people who haven't won for the first time. But keep on clicking that like button in order to get the likes up to 270, because then we can have another pick roulette next week. That's how it works. And if you want to double your chances of winning, tune in on Saturdays as well, because when we hit the target, then we have the pick roulette on Saturdays and on Tuesdays. So, by the way, here is the pick that you can win. There it is with the signature on the back. So that's the pick roulette prize, but also you'll double your chances of winning a t-shirt that is signed as well with the bleached logo. Like I said, it's very popular, a very cool shirt made by Carla. So those are custom shirts because Carla's making those herself. So they are very rare, and they've got a lot of kind of I don't know what you'd kind of time, but also love in put into the making of the shirt. Just a lot of care put into those. So it's another thing that I think a lot of people appreciate when something is made from scratch, and Carla's making those from scratch. So there's a lot of love and care in those particular shirts that you can get your hands on by contacting Carla. So thank you, Carla, for making those shirts. And yes, they are awesome because I have one and they are very comfortable as well. So contact Carla if you want to get your hands on one of those custom Wings of Pegasus t-shirts. But anyway, thank you for hitting that thumbs up. It looks like we are 4 likes away, 203 likes away from getting that target. And by the way, guys, now you can start typing I agree. That's what you need to type to get your name on the next pick roulette wheel. That is something that we're looking for 3 more people to hit the target. So if you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, it would be good if you could, because it means that then we'll hit the target and we can start confirming that we're going to be having a pick roulette next week, and everyone can start typing I agree and tagging Carla. That's the most important thing about the I agree, is tag at Carla Murray and type I agree in order to get that to stand out, because Carla looks through all of the comments and it's a lot easier when she is tagged in it. So we're looking for 2 more likes in order to hit that target. And I tell you what, let's look at the pictures before I forget. And let me see if, the background means that we lose the live chat room. And there are some I agrees going on there. So I'm not sure how I'm going to work this to get the I agrees to show up on screen. And it might be a case that I think if I do this live, the whole software is probably going to pause or something like that. I'm going to attempt to do this. Oh, actually, this might not work. I'm not going to attempt to do it because it's much too complicated. We have hit the target, 272. So everybody, if possible, hit that thumbs up, just to really settle it, but also type I agree if you want to be on the pick roulette. I think what I'm going to do is play another request over on Patreon so that we have a little bit of time to type I agree, and then by the 3 or 4 minutes that we've watched this video, it means it gives you a chance to type I agree. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do my example I agree, because I always do this. So at Carla, and then her name appears, I click on it, at Carla Murray, and then in capitals, I agree, exclamation marks, and enter. So you'll see my example going through the live chat room at some point of how to do it to get your name on that pick roulette next week. But we will have a little look at a request over on Patreon to give you guys a little bit more chance, and then I must remember to look at the pictures at the end, because then I can just say that, yeah, the I agrees have been typed. And let me have a little look over here. Right, we have Running Blind from Kevin, and Marilyn has requested Hero, Don't Cry. Deborah requested Paris Nord, which you heard at the beginning, and also a Bucks performance, which you watched as well. We Can Fall Down, and Amelia, We Can Fall Down, We Can Fall Down. Okay, right, so that was 3 in a row. 4, 5 I can see for We Can Fall Down from Lisa and Selena as well. Let's have a little look at We Can Fall Down. So this is going to be the live version of it, if I can find it. And where is it? There it is. Okay, I found the button. Hopefully this is the right button. So I'm going to click on this, give ourselves a little bit more chance. This is the last call for I agrees in that live chat room. So make sure you type in that to get your name on the pick roulette for next week. But hope you guys enjoy this. I'll see you after. Rock!
Gotta
And there we have it. That was my song called We Can Fall Down. You can pick that up at wingsofpegasus.com/music. That is the website if you want to go there. Pretty self-explanatory, wingsofpegasus.com. And if you want to get involved yourselves over on Patreon, these are the people's names at the bottom of the screen, my patrons who make this all possible. If you want to head over there and get involved yourselves, then you can do. It's patreon.com/wingsofpegasus. Oh, just quickly, while I remember, unfortunately, on YouTube Studio, which is the app that is used to see all your comments on your channel across all of your videos, recently it has changed, and they've done this where they update the software and they update it to make it worse. And the first update they did was that when I'm scrolling through the comments, I might go down, say, 4 pages, and I'll click on a comment and I'll respond to it. I'll type my answer to the question, whatever it is. And then when you go back to the comments, it starts you at the top of the comment section again. So then you have to go through the 4 pages to find out where you were to get to the next comment. Anyway, so that's just something that I've been doing for ages because they updated the app so that it didn't take you back to where you were last, which was a pain. And now they've updated it even worse to make the app even worse, so that every comment now is in a random timing order. So, for example, if somebody comments 2 minutes ago, you might have that comment that comes up at the top of the comment section. And then underneath that, there can be a comment from 40 minutes ago. Underneath that, there can be a comment from 3 days ago. Underneath that, you can have a comment from 2 months ago. And it's literally that bad. So it means that the comments are totally random. They're not they used to be timed, so that if somebody commented 3 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, 7 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, they're all in order, so you know where the recent comments are and where the older comments were, so that I could go through, you know, like for example, if I've been sleeping and there's 5 or 6 hours worth of comments, I can go down 5 or 6 hours and then cover all of those comments. But now, going down, it shows me comments that are literally months ago and totally irrelevant to the video that I've just done. So yeah, a real pain. But to cut a long story short, I've mentioned that over on Patreon, on this site, that's where my patrons have a direct link to me. They can message me like an inbox. There's a message option on there. So any message that's sent to me over on Patreon, it arrives in my Patreon inbox, which I check every night. So as you guys will know, when you've messaged me over there, I respond within 24 hours because I do check it every night, sometimes a little bit more than that. So yeah, if there is something that you desperately need to contact me about, then Patreon is the best place. Putting it in a comment is going to be difficult for me to find just at the moment because of the way that the app is. And I've said over on Patreon, don't be offended if there's one comment or a comment of yours that hasn't got a thumbs up and the heart. It just means that the app has thrown it in a random place miles down the page. I am trying my best to go through all of the videos and keep checking for any new comments, but as you can imagine, it's very time consuming. I just wish that they'd kept the app the same, because there was nothing wrong with it the way that it worked before, and there was nothing wrong with it 2 updates ago. It's the 2 updates that is a bit of a pain. But anyway, thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'm just going to interrupt myself there because there's a super chat donation that's come in from Carla. Oh, from the photos, I would have forgotten that. So thank you, Carla. $1.99 for that donation. Thank you for that. And also, Cats in Hats has donated €1.99 as well, with a guy with a heart holding a heart or blowing out a heart. Thank you for that. And let's get into the pictures. Let me get that Patreon thing off screen, so you'll all know that off by heart now because it was on screen so long. So let's get into the pictures, and then just to mention that there has been a PayPal donation as well, so I will get to that now. Actually, Marge has donated £1.38. So thank you for that, Marge. I'm just going to scroll down because Marge says, was fun winning the pick last week, passing the winner crown to the next lucky pick winner, with a smiley face. So thank you for that, Marge. And Marge passes the winner the winning crown over to Paula. So congratulations to Paula for this week's Pick Roulette. Let's get into these pictures just very quickly because it is safe now, I think, as Carla says. So let's get the background up on screen and let's try and find where I have put the pictures as always. I like to really keep myself on my toes. So there's a picture here that has been uploaded from Francis. So thank you for this. And we can see that it's a bit of an action shot here from Francis. So we've got the motion kind of blur effect going on, but we can definitely see it is officially Francis in the background and the Wings of Pegasus glass there in the foreground. So thank you for uploading that. And if you want to upload pictures, guys, head over to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group on Facebook because that's where these pictures are uploaded to and we can grab them for the live streams. But thank you, Francis, for uploading that. And we have Donna, who is modelling the custom Wings of Pegasus t-shirt here made by Carla. So thank you for... Also, hopefully these pictures are working. I'm kind of taking for granted that you can see them, but this should be Donna in her t-shirt, the Wings of Pegasus, the bleached one. So thank you for that, Donna. And I think we have Suzanne as well, who's modelling some Wings of Pegasus earrings, which you can get at wingsofpegasus.com. And just head over there to the merch section of the site to be able to find earrings and all that kind of stuff that Carla does over there as well. So thank you for uploading this, Suzanne. And last, but by no means least, we have Steve and Aiden, I do believe. And you can see a very, very cute little guy there, and you'll also notice that he's holding a dog. Ba-boom! So that's my attempt at humour. But anyway, there is Steve holding Aiden, and how cute is Aiden? That should be illegal, and as you guys know, I am a dog lover, and I don't have a dog, so seeing dogs like this really does make me want to get a dog, but I am too busy to have a dog. I cannot give the dog enough time to go out for walks and all that kind of stuff. So maybe at some point in the future I will get a dog. But at the moment I just have to look at these pictures and just resist and just feel very sorry for myself. But thank you, Steve, for uploading this. And by the way, Steve's got the Wings of Pegasus t-shirt on with the custom design on there. So thank you for that, Steve. And I'm very jealous of Aiden as well. A very cute doggy. So thank you guys for uploading these pictures to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook. Thank you. And you guys, you can join that group if you are a Facebook user. Thank you for linking me to these pictures, Vince and Carla, who do that on Facebook as well. We're going to be calling things to a close now. So thank you guys for attending the live stream with me and for attending them on Saturdays as well. We'll be having another Pick Roulette then. There's going to be another video tomorrow night, analysis video, and then another one on Friday night, and then the live stream Saturday as normal. So I'll probably see you in the comment section of those videos. I'll do my best to keep up with all of those, and stay safe, wear your masks if that's what your government is advising you do, and get your vaccines if possible as well. And hopefully things will continue to improve around the world with this whole COVID thing. And certainly here in the UK, it is getting a lot better, even though the numbers are just increasing a little bit. I'm not sure why that is, but I think like 70 or 80% of the population have had at least their first jab or vaccine here. So we'll continue with that. Like I said, follow your government's guidelines, stay as safe as possible, and I'll see you guys at the next analysis video in the comment section. But if not then, I'll see you live on Saturday night for the live stream then, same time, same place, 12 midnight Greenwich Mean Time. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Huge thank you to the moderators as well for doing such a great job, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock.